Howdy folks, welcome to another Figma project tutorial. In this one we're going to be making a wiki app prototype. We have another project that we do in our classes. It's like a database, and this is a database as well, but with just adding in more component features. And for the content, we're using the laws of UX that Mr. Yablonsky has made. And we're using some content from there. And this one that I'm showing off now is Jacob's Law. And what we want is some examples of the law and then the description of the law. And the examples are in a slidable photo carousel, and the text describing the law is going to be in a scrollable window here. And then we got a little drop down or drop up menu to navigate to the other pages. So we got Jacob's Law. Y'all can definitely check this out. It's a great resource for psychological reasonings behind user interface and user experience choices. That one's Jacob's Law. And the one I'm going to work on for this little demo, I picked Tesler's Law. And so here's this, and here's a picture of it working. So we want to be able to slide our photo carousel. Jacob's Law describes we want sites to work like other sites that we're used to, and some of my examples are different shopping sites, where you have the shopping cart in the same spot, you got the search bar in mostly the same spot up at the top middle, and then various ways to show like featured elements. And I've thought about adding little like diagram shapes to the imagery, like a circle around the shopping cart, but that's for later. Mostly we'll be going over the component elements. Here's our little slide box, and in Figma, as far as I can tell, the scroll bar won't stop where you just leave it. It's either going to snap to the bottom or the top, and depending on how much text we have in the next one, maybe I'll make a third state where it'll like stick in the middle. So we'll see. So that's our little scrollable text window, and so this all works within the one what's it called, frame in Figma. I get it confused because I first started using Adobe XD. And then we have our little drop down or drop up menu that we'll make. Okay, so to get started, I have all my pieces for Tesler's Law over here. I got a title, made a little logo or icon for the law, and here we got some examples. Tesler's Law talks about reducing complexity to as much as you can, even though there's some point where there's a needed amount of complexity that you have to work with. And we have our text for our pop-up menu or pop-down menu. And here's the text that will go in our scrollable window. And this I just make an artboard or a square shape the size of our artboard or frame. Artboard is from Adobe XD. That way I can gauge how big I want my items to be in there before I get started working, because let me know, but it looks like it's hard to adjust the size of components after you've built them if you want to just like squeeze things into a window that you want. So it's a really good idea to have them prepped to be the size that you want before you get going. And actually, this might be too big. It's definitely too big. That'll be something to check. I can make the app longer, or let's make it a little bit smaller real quick. So we can hold shift because I'm going to make this a little bit darker. So we're going to go with like a dark mode kind of situation. Kessler's Law. And here I want to dark mode this, so I'm pretty sure I can just do a quick little like clipping mask. Is that right? Use as mask. Yeah, there we go. And I can change that to white. Now we can put our little Tesla's Law logo here. And then y'all can adjust your aesthetics how you want, which is something I want to do with these as well. But then I'm kind of just in demo mode right now. So I kind of have this plain Jane aesthetic going on. Okay. So about like that. And that'll leave room for our menu and our text box, I think. The other one worked well because they were horizontal. So we'll see. We might have to squeeze this stuff in here. So we want to make these same size before we get going. And we can change the spacing 12. It's about how far apart we want them. Okay, so we'll do, we can do the easier ones first. So did I go all the way black? No, not all the way. Let's do this drop down menu. All right. So should I just steal elements, or I'll build it from scratch? But yeah, this is basically the components, right? Where that's the default state, and then when you click the hamburger, this is the expanded state. And so let's make us a little shape here. And I like to kind of go rough. So that'll be my menu, the main menu bar. So let's come over here and we'll set this up. We can make us a hamburger. Let's zoom in. Think about like that. Stroke. So we can make this not as dark. And I'll lighten up my artboard or make it a different color just so we can see better. We like to have thick lines, right? Maybe this hamburger is just like 3 layers. What am I? I'm hitting the wrong thing. Let's group that. Here's a little hamburger. Put it in here. We can go over here and space them out equally. Okay. Let's copy paste. Whoop, don't want that. Expand that up. Let's send it back. What do we want? Darker or lighter? So when we click that, it'll pop up. Make it a little lighter. Whoops. Okay. We can just put these guys here. This will be like our little menu. There, and we got it. And so, yeah, we are kind of building the open state first, and we'll work backwards. Okay, okay. And so now let's make this a component. So you'll see how we work backwards. All right, so we'll make a component. We got everything in here selected. Right click, create component. There we go. And then let's create a variant. Main component, add variant. Okie dokie. And so now what we need to do is work backwards on this one and collapse it all down. So over here you'll see clip content, which will be helpful for us. So we'll be able to see. I'm going to slide these down. And that'll inform the animation. And if I unclip the content, where's that at? Oh, the component in general, right? There it is. See, it's back there. And it, in the stacking order, they're all here, and we have our rectangle in the back, and then we have that rectangle on the top. And so that way it'll still appear above the pop-up area, but behind this bar, so it'll pop up out of there. So we're clipping content, and then our little background square, we'll just scale that down. We can just be safe and do it like that. Okay, and that's kind of it, right? So we go to our hamburger here, group 2. You know, it's always nice to name stuff. We'll get into that. Component 1. So pop up menu 2. Since I have the other page in this project that, you know, eventually I'll have to make them aesthetically match. Default variant, variant 2, that's all fine. You could group these, it's fine if you don't. And you could rename your rectangles background or foreground. But yeah, okay. So let's get in here and we'll go over and prototype this. We'll add an interaction. On tap, change to, navigate to is for different artboards. Change to is for the different variant states of your component. And we'll go to variant 2 and smart animate. And I think I reduced this in the other one to like 150 so it pops up a little bit faster. Ease out, ease in. We'll see, we'll check it out. And then this one here, we'll add the interaction to on tap, change to, back to default, smart animate. Let me click 150. Okay. We got that. And then of course you'll prototype these eventually to go to your different pages. For this one, you know, we'll make a, eventually with this project, we'll make a home page. But now let's see, we can make a frame real quick. Let's make sure 440, 956. Get our frame tool right here. 440, 956. Okay, we got us a frame. And what is this? Tesler's law? Component 1. I wonder why it named it component 1. Made a frame, that's strange. Anyway. Oh, UX law 02 is what I'm going with. Okay. And then yeah, we're going kind of for more of a dark mode. But not all the way black. That's fine. Okay, and how to pop this on here is you'll go over, this is now in your list of assets for this project. So we'll go over to assets in this file And we'll find pop-up menu 2 ideally. Oh yeah, there it is. And we can drag that and pop it into here, into our UX Law 02 frame. And we're building it up. There we go. It's a little wide. Wonder, did I make it too wide? 440, 950. Oh, 440, 956. 440, 956. It's fine if it's clipped off a little bit. Maybe I just didn't line it up totally correctly. And then these guys we can bring over here because you see I'm just using that as like a size guide, a little reference square really. So we can pop that on here. And I mean we can go ahead and prototype this Jacob's Law to on tap navigate to UX Law 1 instant. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, we'll just get it to go over there instant. And then if we want to navigate back, we need to make that one Tesla's Law on tap navigate to Law 02. Okay. And you can see my artboard's kind of a mess. Organization's kind of up to you. You know, if I was, you know, you're doing something professional, you want to have it all cleaned up and not a crazy mess like this, but kind of keeping it organized through grouping. Or law of proximity if you're thinking of a law of UX. Okay, so law of UX 02, let's test it out. Tesla's Law. I wish. What are we doing here? Law of UX, prototype, hit play. Let me take, there we go. Advanced settings, take the frame off. All right, does our menu work? That's how it works. Now it's popping up. Nothing too crazy. And then can we hop over to Jacob's Law? There's Jacob's Law. You know, we can scroll that guy. We can navigate that. We can go back over to old Tesla's Law. Okay. I think that's working. What do we want to do next? I'd say the text box is another easier one. The photo carousel one's just a little, well, the other one had 6 pictures. This one only has 3, so it might not take so much time. So let's make this a little bit regular. Can make the text bigger. I'm just going to make a quick copy of this to kind of see placement wise how we want. So this is going to be like a little Nero text box guy. Let's make our text box rectangle. What do y'all think? You want enough like breathing room for stuff. Yeah. Like that? What do y'all think? That's probably good. Okay. Let's get that out of there. Oh, and we'll pick a... What do y'all think? Like make it match? Make it match like that? Limit our palette a little bit. Is that dark enough to make our text pop, I suppose? We'll see. We can change it if we need to. Okay. So that's our text box. Here's our text. And we're actually going to need to, yeah, make that a little short on that side because you need to make a little scrolly shape. I want it to be big enough for someone to see, and I'm making it a little shorter because we might have a middle point. Yeah. Or maybe 4. This is really long. So maybe I'll do 2, 3, 4 states. And you'll just know that you can make it. Maybe someone knows about a function with like a fluid scroll component where it'll just stay wherever you want it. You know, like this guy. Or it just stays there. But maybe that's an active thing. Maybe that's something for the coder. That's something in discussing with my friends. It's like, yeah, this is more just a visual prototype thing. And some of these component functions are stepping halfway into the coder's side of the job. And so you're just really, yeah, making an allusion to what you want it to do for the coder to understand as they build it for you. And then you're doing a back and forth with that coder to just make sure it all lays out and functions correctly. And another thing I like to do is copy paste. We'll bring this to the front. How do I do that? Bring to front. There we go. And we're gonna switch it to a stroke. With no fill inside, and this will help give that illusion that the text is going behind. Instead of just sliding out of the square, right? Does that need to be a frame? Let me go back over here, because in order to make it clip, no, it's all shapes. Rectangle, rectangle, because yeah, you can clip it once you make a component. Yeah. Right. Oh, maybe we'll see. So it might make it a component this whole big size if I group them together and make it a component that way, or I pick these pieces first, make them a component, and then add the text into it. But this is basically it. So if we do that and hit create component, right, it makes a giant component, which is not what we want. Make this a little bit bigger. So we'll just pick these guys first. Create component. Right. And this is, what do we call the other one? Scroll window component. Scroll window 2. And we bring that into scroll window 2, but below that guy. And so now we can clip the content and see what it's going to look like there. Okay, so we got a scroll window 2 component. We'll make our variant. We got our variant going. And here's how to just like send it to the bottom. Whoops. I hate that part. So I actually have to kind of like scroll. So let's scroll it to the bottom. And I'll let people kind of bring it up a little bit past. And then we'll bring this guy down. So that is, you know, you have scrolled to the bottom. And in scale, that'll function like that. Okie dokie. And Tesla's law here. No, I don't need to mess with that. Okay. So that's it for just 2 states. Right? But, so now we can go in. Yeah, and the drag function, this tells Figma what the drag function is and how far it goes. Same as the text. Let's go to prototype interaction on drag, change to variant 2. And this guy, interaction on drag, change to, back to default. And you'll do it for the text as well. That's default. And it's kind of highlighting both of them within the variants, but just know you have it selected over here in the layers. And on drag, change to variant 2. Then that guy, on drag, change to variant 2. Because you see, you're dictating which way it drags through where it's at in the different states. Kind of follows it like when you're dictating how it animates. Change to variant 2 on drag. Yeah, so you don't get a how it transitions with this. That's with on tap. Okay. And that's that. So that's it. So now we can go back in here. We'll go to our assets. Scroll window 2. Let's bring this guy in here. Are we in here? We're in our law UX. Yeah. Okay. We're centered there. We're centered there. All right, let's see if this works. All right, hit play here. Oh, did y'all see that? We have an issue. We need to put the scroll window, the pop-up menu above that, so it pops up above our scroll window in the stacking order. All right, now we'll do it. We'll refresh. Can I make it this the default? No device frame? Maybe that's somewhere in the settings. Y'all let me know. Okay, so we got our pop-up menu. It's popping up on top. And then now we should be able to drag our scroll bar. And I think once you go past halfway, it'll snap to the other one. If you don't make it halfway, it snaps, you know, back. Yeah, and then you can also drag the text. Uh-oh, I didn't prototype the text the other way. Variant 2, Tesla's law, on drag. Oh, almost did. Wait. Change to variant 2, right? Drag none. Interactions. On drag, change to, oh, back to default. That's what I needed to do. Wonder why not lock. Okay. Oh, that's why the animation wasn't popping up. It was because I had it set to itself. Okay. Pop back here. Play. We're going to do a little refresh. Take that off. And yeah. And now we should be able to, or if I don't have enough room, right. So that's a little issue. Just with the testing, not with the prototype itself. just my mouse doesn't have enough room. So I could do like a little halfway point. So just for that, let's try that out. If you have a lot of text, depending on how big or small you format your text. So let's go here. It'll be interesting figuring out what the halfway mark is. Nope. Oh, we're in prototype. Go back to design. Let's get this guy. Yeah, at the halfway mark. And get this text at the halfway mark. What would the halfway mark be? Oh, it'll kind of show us. Is it showing us both? No. What do y'all think? Is that like halfway? Kind of looking to see. It's like roughly halfway. Yeah, fine, sure. So that's halfway. Then we can add a third variant. This is experimental. It might be buggy when I do this because I haven't on drag. So no, yeah, dragging it further down, it'll be fine. Yeah. Boop to there. And this guy a little further up. And so this one will have two, and luckily Figma just understands if you want to drag it back and forth. So this guy in the prototype, we don't want to tap. Drag back to default, but then also on drag, change to variant 3. It'll know that. Same thing with our text in variant 2. On drag, change to variant 3. Okay, and then this guy. Oh, since I made a variant of this, the coding was already there. But we back to variant 2. Okay, and then that, instead of back to default, back to variant 2. All right, let's see how that works. Okay. Cross your fingers that it does work. So why does it do that? Like, won't let me there. So sometimes that pops up and doesn't. That's another thing I have to figure out. Okay, so... Oh, it stops me. Oh, okay. So that might be a limitation or something to deal with. Yeah. Link me to a tutorial if you can find a fluid scroll wheel. There's a fluid scroll bar component where it just stays. It has to be a function where you can just pause the animation wherever it's at, and it doesn't have to fulfill the complete animation that you've coded it in there. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the second component. Now we'll get into the more complicated guy and making this photo carousel. And we'll use these folks. Let's bring them over here. We'll need some room to work. And so you have to imagine when you're making your carousel that this is the middle, right? And so we want room over here for when we slide things over. We can make a little background on it for now. And we can just make it invisible later. Or let's be exact. Whoops. And we'll delete these. Yeah. Send it back. Okay. And so now we'll start that process again. Or we'll just make it that color. Maybe it'll look good. We'll see. All right, so we're ready. I'm pretty sure we're ready. We'll delete our extras here. And ideally that's the middle. Are they all the spacing? My other one was 12, so that's why I'm doing that. So yeah, let's make our little photo carousel. And so we'll make this into a component. Create component. What I call it in the other one. Oh. Gallery component 2. And previously I made these all into their own components before I nested them into this component, but that's if you're just going to be editing them in a certain way. Or I guess, yeah, it can come in handy if like you're going to add stuff to these images and you want it to have some nesting where they're isolated and you can add things on top. Like if we come over here, you'll see because these guys are their own components, I can come in and say maybe take an ellipse. Put that there. No fill, add a stroke. Make it yellow. Make it thick. And since it's in this component of the target, it's like I'm able to edit it and that will cascade into all of the variants and whatnot. And it'll auto like load itself in here as well. But these examples that I'm going to make aren't going to need that for this one, but just know you could go and make these their own components first and nest them in here, and you'll be able to edit them within that, within this component, and they'll cascade. And I mean, it's just more layers stacked up in here, a little bit more organization. It can come in handy. It came in handy with the other calendar video tutorial that I made, if you've tuned in before. All right, so let's make a variant. Add a variant. We're just gonna slide these over. Let's slide this one over. Like that. Oh, this is gonna be so easy with just the 3 of them. We'll add a variant. We'll just slide these over. You gonna snap for me? Is it snapping? Put a little guide here. And that'll force things to snap. It's weird that that particular guy ain't snapping. Anyway, so that's it. There he is. And yeah, it won't loop back around. You could do that with like a tap. Like if you tap it, it'll loop back around. But, you know, this is just a prototype to demonstrate. Don't have to be truly coded. That's it. And so let's make these guys a little smaller. Actually, let's pay attention to... So widths are different, but the height is the same. Okay. You don't think like that? Spacing 12, will that... Alright, that's what we want. We want it to kind of bounce off from the middle. We'll see how that works. Whoop, bop. Alright, so what do we change the height to 160? So that one, height 160. That one, height 160. $12.12. Okay. And these two guys, height 160. What does this do? Wrong way, buddy. Spacing 12. Will it read? Come on. Help me out here. Okay, spacing 12, that's fine. Alright, that's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And so what we'll do is this guy here, we're just doing the drag function in the prototype. So on drag, change to, variant to, I'm going to leave it at 300, maybe that's fine. And this guy will put 2 drags since he's in the middle. Drag, change to, variant 3. On drag, change to back to default. And that dictates where the drag happens. From left to right. And this guy... on drag, change to variant 2. That should work. And then this rectangle, we can go invisible, invisible, invisible. That should be it. That should be it working. We can get rid of our little placeholder there. And assets. That one. Component 1. We have to give that a better name. Are we in our law? Okay, yeah. And just in case, you can put it under the menu. Let's see if we can get a... We snap into the middle of that. That snap into the middle of that. Put it halfway there. That should be it, right? Okay. Well, I guess we test it, huh? Hit play. We're gonna refresh. Let's turn off our frame here. And do we get... Yay! And you see it animates to those sizes that we scaled it down to. And you can do different things, like some tutorials I've followed have the photos like kind of behind, you know, as if they're on a real, like, in the round carousel, so there's a little bit of play with the dimensions going on. Like, we could test that real quick. Maybe come over here and even add a blur to it. Let's take these guys, put them back here. Effect. Background blur? No, that's not what we want. Blur. Blur layer. How can we... Oh. Tell it how much? Oh, let's pick one. I guess it's only... Anyway, we can find out effect styles. Layer blur. Wonder why that was so hard. Layer blur. We can do 10? Maybe not that much. 5? Same thing here. Effect. Layer blur. 5. And so just to test that real quick, you can go over here. It might act funny since the others aren't that way, but you can see it'll also unblur it as it comes forward. We could put the drag function on these guys too, because, you know, someone might instinctually grab the picture they want and drag that over, but for right now, we can just navigate with that guy. So I'm going to hit undo until we're back to how I had it. There we go. But yeah, so that's it for making a photo carousel, a scrollable text window, and a pop-up menu in a little Figma Wiki page. And thanks for watching. We can go over here one more time. And of course, for this project as a whole, we're wanting a you know, home page to bounce back to. But for now, beep bop. Uh-oh. Oh, we need to set that to reset at the end. Oh. Okay. So when we navigate away from Jacob's Law in the prototype, over here, state, reset component state. And same thing on this one. And that means the menu will be back to collapsed if you come back to this state, and it won't be still open. Or it should. Bop. So go there, we'll hop over to Jacob's, go here, hop back over to Tesla's, and the menu's collapsed. Okay, that's it. That's making a laws of UX wiki page. We got some examples of reducing complexity in devices and user interfaces. This one's kind of cheating because within this rectangle is just as many complex choices as these guys. It's more so if you're just counting the device itself, like you just have to tap the screen. You don't have all these buttons to tap. But it's technically a slight little bit of a cheat as an example of Tesla's law. Alright guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck designing out there.